It's time to predict the scores of week 28 of this 2022-2023 Championship season. Last week in week 27, top scorer with a lovely score of 17.5 points was Swansea City 1, and he or she came away with 3 perfect scores overall. How that affects the overall leaderboard now, well, top of the shot once again is GKK 474. Currently on 246 points, followed in second place by Mark Chapman on 237.5 points. But enough of last week, let's just move on to this week's fixtures. 13 fixtures to predict altogether, starting on Friday 20th of January at 7:45. We've got Sheffield United, the Blades, second in the table, coming up against the Tigers of Hull City. For me, this is going to be a straightforward victory to Sheffield United, even though Hull have only lost once in their last 7 matches. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory under the lights at Bramall Lane. We then move on to another Friday fixture, 15 minutes later this one, starting at 8 o'clock at the night. Top of the table this time, Burnley, coming up against 6th position West Brom, who have, as we've seen this season, have really turned their fortunes around. West Brom beating Luton Town 3-2 in their last fixture. However, I do fancy Burnley in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 narrow win. We then move on to the Saturday fixtures, where Coventry City take on Norwich City at the Ricoh Arena. Now, surprisingly, you could say Norwich beating Preston 4-0 in Preston last time out, and Coventry City only 1 win in their last 7 matches now. But I think this one's going to end up all square. Norwich have been stuttering lately, apart from that win, of course, last time out. And Coventry, okay, at home, I think they will gain a point against the Canaries. We then move on to St Andrews, where Birmingham City take on Preston North End. Birmingham losing 4 matches on the bounce now, which sees them in 18th position in the table. And Preston North End, perennial mid-table team, you could say. 5 defeats though in their last 7 isn't good for the Lily Whites. But in this one, I fancy Preston just to take all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory. We then move on to Bloomfield Road at 3 o'clock, where Blackpool take on Huddersfield Town. This is probably the biggest fixture, you could say, in the league this weekend, although that Burnley-West Brom match is a massive too. But this, at the other end of the table, Blackpool currently in 23rd position, Huddersfield currently in 22nd. A good draw for Huddersfield in the last fixture against Hull City, who are currently in 16th position. I think the spoils are going to be shared in this one. Look at that, 4 draws for Blackpool in their last 7. So I'm going to go for another draw in this one, and I'm going to go for 1-1. Then we move on to Ashton Gate, where Bristol City take on Blackburn Rovers. Now, I haven't been impressed at all with Blackburn recently. They're currently in 5th position in the league at the moment. Another defeat last time out, where they lost 4-0 against Rotherham United. Bristol City, a good 4-2 victory against Birmingham City, and they beat Swansea City on Tuesday evening at the Swansea City Stadium, where they, in the FA Cup, where they won 2-1 after extra time. So another tight one. Maybe fatigue will set in for Bristol City, but I think Bristol City are going to repeat that scoreline which they had against Swansea, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win to the Robins. Then we move on to the Cardiff City Stadium, where Cardiff take on Millwall, who are currently in 8th position, just outside the playoffs. Cardiff winless now in some like 11 matches or 9 matches. Another draw last time out against Wigan, where really they should have won, and cruelly they conceded in the 96th minute. Millwall themselves, a loss last time out narrowly against Middlesbrough. I think this one's going to be another draw for the Bluebirds, unfortunately, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think they will score, and this is a match, incidentally, that myself and Nathan will be in attendance, and Nathan will probably be he will be bringing out a vlog which will be out probably on Sunday. We then move to Loftus Road, where Queen's Park Rangers take on the Jacks of Swansea. Swansea now 2 victories in their last 3 matches and another draw for QPR in their last match, and I think this is going to end up as a draw, but I don't think there'll be any goals in this one, and I'm going to go for a 0-0 scoreline. We then move on to the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke City, currently 5th from bottom in 20th position, 3 defeats in their last 4 matches and a draw for Reading in their last match, which was against QPR. However, I do fancy Reading to come away with all 3 points in this one, surprisingly, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to the R's. We then move on to Vicarage Road, where Watford take on Rotherham. Rotherham recording a famous victory, you could say, where they beat Blackburn Rovers 4-0 in their last fixture, and Watford now up to 3rd, turning their fortunes around after stuttering and being inconsistent for most of the season. However, a good victory against Blackpool in that last fixture, a season, as I said, up into 3rd position, and I think they'll continue that good form, and I'm going to go for another 2-0 victory in this one. And the Millers, currently in 19th position, they shouldn't drop below that position after this weekend's results, but I do think they'll lose this game 2-0. Then we move on to Wigan Athletic at the DW Stadium taking on Luton Town. Wigan fortunate, you could say, to gain a point against Cardiff City late in that match last weekend, and Luton Town suffering defeat against West Brom, where I think they were ahead in that match. I think it was 2-0 at one stage, or 2-1 at least against West Brom, but they succumbed to the Baggies in the end. They lost 3-2, but in this match I think they will bounce back. I don't think they'll concede, and I think they're going to come away with a 2-0 win against Wigan. Then we move on to the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland take on Middlesbrough in not really a top of the table clash, but Sunderland need to really gain a victory if they have got any ambitions really of making the playoffs at the end of the season. Middlesbrough in fine form, 6 wins in their last 7, and I think they will come away with another victory up there in the northeast, bit of a local derby this one, and I can see Middlesbrough coming away with a 2-1 win. And the final fixture of this game week takes place at the Ricoh Arena on Tuesday evening. This is a rearranged fixture from earlier in the season. At that time, I predicted a 2-0 victory to Coventry over Huddersfield. Okay, Huddersfield, only 1 defeat in their last 4 matches. I predicted Coventry to get something on the weekend, and I'm going to stick with my original thoughts earlier in the season, where I saw them winning 2-0. So that concludes my predictions for game week 28 of this 2022-2023 championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. I'll leave the link in the description, and the code is there as well. Also leave a comment as well, your thoughts on who's going to gain promotion. It looks like it's going to be Burnley and Sheffield United at the end of the season, but who do you think is going to win the playoffs? Do you think Blackburn can stay in there, or do you think that the likes of Watford or Middlesbrough will be in the Premier League next season? But thanks for watching yet again. Remember that vlog out on Sunday from Nathan at that Cardiff City versus Millwall match. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you all in the next video.